On this sunny Saturday afternoon in Yeongju-si, we are live for moving day of the Sangsangin Korea Economic TV Championship. As we just cascaded through the leaderboard, we notice a big change from where we had left you yesterday, and that is the fact that Imi Jung's lead has fully evaporated. She is still up level to be in the front of this tournament, but has some company in Kim Min-byul with her now. This is, of course, the fourth final event of the season, so we are, of course, tracking the race to the Wii Mix Championship, as well as who will take home the honor of being the inaugural winner of this competition. 1.2 billion won up for grabs this week, and the season's proper finale will see 24 players go head-to-head in the Wii Mix Championship after the conclusion of the calendar in 2023. Well, it is 15 degrees and sunny as we begin our broadcast this afternoon. 2.7 meters per second, the wind coming out of the east-southeast with a little bit of rain earlier today, softening the greens slightly, but overall fantastic conditions. It certainly got cool by the end of the round yesterday, with winter jackets being donned as the temperature dipped to single digits. Fence between two clubs, with the change of wind being enough for Chegabin to decide she was having reservations on her club selection. She is tied for third at 7 under, had birdies at 3 and 4, dropped a stroke at 7. Here she is preparing for her approach at 9. Seems like she made the correct decision on that late audible. Be putting to take third outright. And this is Imi Jung. Excuse me, not Imi Jung, but that is certainly an approach reminiscent of her play. Not the Imi Jung, I should say, that we have seen earlier this week. She has bogeys at 2, 5, and the double bogey at 6. She is +3. She's the only one of the top 12 over par. Kim Min-byul quietly going about her business. Started the round with a birdie at 4, excuse me, on the par 4 first, and she is one of just 3 players to be able to birdie that hole today. Added another at 4. She's going for the little bump and run as well. And despite no wins this season yet, she still has time. The leader in the Rookie of the Year race, as well as second in the grand prize points. Return to the par 5 momentarily. In the meantime, EA1 with her 9-iron on 10. 110 meters out from the rough. She has picked up 2 strokes today to move into a tie for a podium spot. Glances that over the sand. She did bogey 9, so for 1 blemish for the turn, going out with a 34. This is the 4th place rookie, Kim Min-sun 7. 35 with her birdie at 4 and has a brilliant approach. Isome, this is for an eagle on number 7. Gets it about pin high. If she can convert from there, it would be just her second of the day and move her to 8 under. Genie, 85 out. She's got a 52-degree wedge in hand on 11. A little bit of a tailwind. She keeps it fairly close. Open up the possibility for birdie. And now putt from the fringe. It looks right. It looks slow. It's not going to be particularly helpful for our co-leader. Kim Soo-ji, long right to left downhill putt for birdie. She walks that in. She had some trouble earlier in the front 9 as well with a double bogey. That saw her drop to 10th, but gets one of those strokes back. Moves into a tie for 8th position. No third birdie for Kim Min Pyeol as we cast our gaze into the sand trap on 11. Just 67 meters up, Jung Ji-min 2. It's towards the back of the green. And now Isome all alone in third. Birdie at the par 3, birdie at the par 5. Keeps this up, she'll be smashing her best score of the tournament. She's posted consecutive rounds of 69. Now here's the A1. Not quite as dramatic the break as Kim Soo-ji's just a little while ago, but similar in that it was also downhill. Hanging the head in frustration. Certainly been a bit of that for Amy Jung so far in the front 9. Just her third par, however, and that will see us advance to hole number 8. A shared water hazard from other holes, just to give you a fountain to look at, perhaps as you tee off from there. Fairly wide and welcoming fairway that narrows between the 3 sand traps. 230 meters from the tee is the beginning of the first to the right. Walk all the way down, pop bunker, front right to defend, and the pin today brings it very much in play. Only about 6 yards off the front and right sides of the green closest to that sand trap. One we'll keep an eye on. So May starts with a good drive. Of course, it was back in 2021, her most recent season in the top 5 in the points. Hasn't been around it, admittedly, as much as she'd like, but she's knocking on the door in 6th right now, only 24 back of Park Ji-young. Bit of a difficult tournament to this point, down in a tie for 42nd position.
소리 안 나게 부탁드리겠습니다.
That's the drive, Amy Jung, who has been absolutely dialed in on the par 4s and 5s. Is slightly north of the tournament average. The fairways in regulation. And Jung Ji-min 2. Moseying its way on down. Speed was absolutely perfect. It's a slight miss to the right. On 7, birdie number 2 of the day. Starts the back 9 wonderfully. On her par save. Followed up with expert precision down to the middle of the green, and it's better for Amy Jung. She just needs to get that putter up and going today. Biao loses the handle on the follow through, knowing she was on the wrong half of the green. Mid left when she wanted to be front right. Lee Min-jung certainly will feel the happiest of the approaches. Lee So-mi not in a poor spot by any stretch.
카메라 때문에 보면 안 보여.
별로 없어도 안 보이지.
네.
Right down the line. Good bit of short game play to help prop up some birdies and shake up this leaderboard of ours. Kim Min-biol is not going to be feeling particularly optimistic about her chance at a par on number 8. Lee Mi-jung could, and drop that to +2 for the day. Mata Som, she has just 2 remaining in the round. She is 5 under last season's rookie runner-up and onto the top page of the leaderboard. It's a wonderful afternoon at Lakewood Country Club in Yeongju for this moving day round of the Sangsangin Korea Economic Broadcasting Open 2023. We'll be back after a short break. And welcome back. EA1. 91 meters pitching wedge on the second hole of her back 9. Bit of a tailwind and a slight left to right as well, going right over the sand. I'm glancing at just beyond the fringe, and we'll head that way again, riding the downslope. And Isomi, a little straighter than she had intended. Sangsangin on 11. Just carries that past the downhill. Almost a perched up island, this green. Pin placement today. Well, it is finally Amy Jung's turn. Tentative and unfortunately breaking inside and offline. Bill has seen this hole become excruciating and take way too long. Ends up bogeying her first of the day and gives some breathing room for Amy Jung. That is a anxiety-inducing feeling, isn't it, when your read is that far off that you head right back to the fringe? Shot from the drone. Definitely tell it's becoming the changing of the seasons. The course is in some really good shape considering the time of year. Coming downhill, inching over, yes! The drama just how Chi Hansel likes it. Make that putt, or take that putt 100 times and probably wouldn't have that much luck. 99 of them, but she'll take it. She'll take the boost. Gets her back to even for the day, inside of the top 10 at 5 under par. Continue to fly around, you can see quite clearly Youngju in the background. Both group mates of Vimy Jung failing to capitalize at the last. Though 8, to be fair to them, has played very challenging today. Only 3 birdies there by my count. 9, not much easier. In fact, it's been a stumbling block for many. The drives aren't particularly complicated, but the approach down is where you work for your money. The southernmost teeing ground of the facility, heading west back towards the clubhouse. The weekend, more and more supporters able to make it out to the course. Sun 7 makes it back to back, and she as well moves into a tie for second position. It's inspiration from the gallery, thinking they were about to witness a birdie. India won after that frustrating putt that went from the fringe and back. Ends up dropping a bogey. Jay Gabby saves the par.
건 아니고 시간에 한 4시. 자, 앞에 조금만 나와주세요.
After some patience, he's Somi from the edge of the fairway. She's 122 out. Drops that in pin high and rolls no further. We're 1 for 1. Next up, Amy Jung with her 8 iron. And not calibrated. Rounds 1 and 2 would never be a doubt, but today's been a different story. Certainly that wind doing her no favors. This is Kim Byul also with the 8, 120. Joins Amy Jung off in the rough. It's the right club, they just both fall victim to the gusts. As they make their way down, let's go to 12. One of the hottest players on course right now after her back-to-back birdies. She gets a bit of a fortunate kick, but not enough to see her carom onto the green at this par 3. And now Soyeon Jung. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's real nice. Impressed herself even. Well, that comes in pin high, but avoids the lowest level at the front of the green. little club twirl, that's generally a sign of good results, and I'd say it was warranted, that little twirl. Chung Jimin 2, pitching wedge, double digits out, and she is actually the only one to go well beyond. Be a borderline impossible downhill putt with that break. Now picked up Imi Jung with a bit more speed. She might be there. Just short. Sun 7, decent from off the green, a little bit short. We'll have to tap it in the rest of the way for par. Moonbill couldn't keep it down quite the same. And this has the speed. Does it have the line? Nope. Reverse of fortunes. Isomi, a birdie here, and she shares the lead. She's pulled it. At about 4 meters, this one's certainly anxiety-inducing for Kim Min-byul trying to save a par. She had been the one that was the closest on the heels of Imi Jung. Unfortunately, that's not the case anymore. Back-to-back bogeys drops her to 7 under, tied for 4th. She hits the turn and will need to turn it around. She makes it to the back 9. Here's the putt that I would have been happy to stand corrected on by saying near impossible. She did a really good job with that. Kim Min-sun 7 has not birdied 13 yet. Par on Thursday, bogey yesterday. Rolls it through the rough just inside of the car path. So Jung, just a short little effort after she did really good to set herself up in this situation. And that's her birdie. Tied for 13th now and back to even for the day after 2 bogeys in the first 5 holes. Chegabin just a bit short on that look at a birdie. Straight down the middle of that drive. EA1 has not birdied since hole number 8. Genie bogeys 12, gets it right back at 13. Comes that long bend back towards the hole, just a fraction off. How they're even able to see it, yet alone nearly realize it, just shows the incredible vision and talent that these folks have. Jimin, 13 pars, stays at 6 under. This is hole 18 for her today. Just an incredibly special day that she's had. Would have been on pace for a 66 if not for that bogey to start the round, but hasn't looked back since with 6 birdies. Isumi, a birdie here yesterday, starting the back 9, hole number 10, and with 44 players having missed the cut, there is no big lineup to get started on 10 anymore, nor will there be for the rest of the week. fires an absolute dart right down the middle. If this was darts, that would be equivalent to a bullseye. A great drive from Kim Min-byul as well to get our featured group underway. Catching back up at the A1 on 13. Drops that in nicely with her 6-iron. In the group today with Sun Gaeun and Kim Min-sun 7. They are group 15. Practice swings, and she's asking for the towel to clean off that club face. 43 meters to go. Obviously with the sand trap just before the green. It sounded like she caught that a little thin, and where the roll through the green ends up would confirm that for us. Polar opposite of that, catching it too thick means she would have probably been in the sand, but there's that challenging middle ground that everyone is always after. of luck. And a helpful little kick up onto the front of the green for Amy Jung. Didn't want to take many chances with the wind. Sangin goes a little deeper. And that leaves Kim Min Biel right in the middle. See if there's any birdies out of our featured group. Leaderboard remains the same, though Kim Min Biel is about mid-pack on page 1 now, after a couple of bogeys in a row. But the back nine begins, and Lakewood Country Club is ready for some birdies, as are we. Back in a bit. to hour 2 here at Lakewood. Isomi playing for a birdie. And Kim Min-sun 7 starting this down the hill with a lot of hope. About 5 paces short of her target. Jung, is this the birdie? Yes, it is. She's back. And a roar from the supporters. Rightfully earned. Just her second birdie of the day. She plays this back nine so well and will be hoping to leave those front 9 woes in the rearview mirror. One likely would have heard that roar. She is due for a pickup as well. And Chegabin picking up speed, but just about connecting back on the line. All right, left, but that's going to snap away. Start that further to the outside. It's not a bogey, so that's a step in the right direction. Speaking of pars, that's the same for Kim Min-sun 7. And Chegabin pulls it with a lot of speed. Next we arrive at hole number 11. Onto the par 4 and significantly uphill. This one will get the blood pumping for sure. Forest on the right, water on the left, and 2 sand traps. We've seen a handful of players find that pot bunker already today. It's quite the drive though, 235 uphill. You need a pretty good tailwind to clear it, and then from there, a triangular-ish green. That is what we are playing this weekend, and what we're playing today is a pin that is 20 yards off the front of the green and 6 yards from the left side. That brings that trap very much into the realm of possibility as we peer into the narrow cut of the trees to find the teeing ground where our featured group will soon be arriving.
저기 플레이하겠습니다. 이동만 좀 멈출게요.
Min Jung back with the honor after her birdie at 10. Plays that off towards the water, but safely in play, and the tournament staffer waves the flags to let her know that no provisional is needed. So Maeve has no issue whatsoever finding the fairway. Bial looks a little bit pensive. She skips out left as well and just stops before rolling down towards the water. Only Isomi is able to find the fairway. Another featured group on 11. You remain on the perimeter of the course. That dense forest just off to the right of the tee shots. On the other side of the water is the short par 3, which will come next. On 7, 5 iron on 14. She has 162 to make up. Really nice bit of approach play. Check out being 52-degree wedge. Her approach on 13. Just stops that before rolling into the second level. EA1 in a bit of a funk, and that lack of confidence and precision is unfortunately evident again. The second place rookie Han Min, with the flash of excellence that we have grown quite accustomed to. +4 today, desperately after that first birdie of the round, takes her just about outside of the top 20.
나간 거죠. 엣지 앞에 들어갔으니까. 지금 핀이 오르막 배에 보이잖아요. 그냥 여기 치죠. 시간 잘 그리고.
She would have preferred to be in the fairway, but she does have a straight shot at the green, and it's really not all that difficult a lie. Some right to left movement to it, and a kick pin high. I think that birdie might have just leapfrogged her back into her groove. Picked up and rolled to just mere centimeters away. That's more like it. It's a good recovery from EA1. Kim next to play. So much torque, she lost her footing a little bit. Everyone is up. Hisomi went a little bit conservative, probably more club than she needed. Standing above the downhill putt. She might be just as far as she was as she lined it up. On 14, we find Kim Min-sun 7. Moves a bit too much to the inside. And Chegabin working to the other side and records that part. Park Young, she is down at 1 under for the event. Just about changed that there. She is finding a similar frustrating day as Sung Min without a birdie. That would have been her first. Tied for 23rd. Min, she does have that first birdie. After a wonderful approach, it's a simple tap in.
넉넉하게 보고 머리를 좀 맞춰.
Isomi starting the long way back. This is going to go too much right. Needs it to stop. 4 meters past. Kim Yoon-byul is next. It's going to be a 2-putt par for her.
굿샷. 들어와.
And a perfect tee shot into our social contribution zone. Also a sign for us that we are heading towards the end of that group's round. Well, after waiting nearly half a round for a circle on the scorecard, Amy Jung has a chance to go back to back, and she has pulled that. It's good news for the chasing pack.
오, 굿샷.
Yeah, one will just stop short, but a good job nevertheless. Isomi has her par at 12. par to sustain a 2-stroke advantage. After a bogey and a double bogey, 5 and 6, he has 4 pars from the next 5 holes, and of course that birdie at 10. 7 holes to go. One with a nice second shot.
백 141이 핀이야. 104가 F고. 의미가 없어. 상금하는 거. 다른 전반적으로 우리 양반들은
For Imi Jung, it was her best round of the tournament to begin with a 65, but in general, she's really enjoyed this back nine. Kim Min-sun 7 is one of 2 players occupying runner-up at the moment. She plays her second shot on the par 5 and rolls nicely through the fairway to pretty good looking line at her approach. Che Gabin on 14. Bounces twice and rolls off the back of the green. Runs a fine line just inside of the right edge of this green. She has par 12 every single time she's played it this week.
칠번은 네가 왼쪽이 좀 더 클 수 있으니까 고개 딱 보고 사람이 좀 쏠라있지?
So me with her 7-iron. She doesn't like it. Let's see. It's well off. 3 tee shots and none particularly close. Amy Jung is the top off the tee again from this group. Kim In-sun 7, she continues to crisscross her way around the course. If she converts from there, she goes to 4 under for the day and 1 back of the lead. 2 strokes remains the difference. Kim Min-byul now 3 back down to even through 11 on this moving day round. More from the Sangsangin Hangyang TV Open when we return. that EA1's birdie drought continues. Kim Biol just about ended hers. Had a perfect line, kept the flag in, and hoped that it might be enough to slow her down. Pumps back out the other side. The next effort is missing by the slimmest of margins for our leader. Keeps her lead at 2. Frustrating miss for Kim Min-sun 7 on the par 5. We go to 13. Park Young still in search of birdie number 1 for the round. She has it here at 13. .40 on the way out. Another bogey at 11. Pops herself to 2 under. That is tied for 17th. Disappointing for Kim Min-biol as that downward slide continues. Ends up being a 3-putt hole on the par 3.
스윙 버튼 전체적으로 그림이 색이 낮으니까 근데 이쪽에 보니까 왼쪽이 왼쪽이 무슨 것 같아.
Somebody trying to avoid the same fate as Kim Min-biol. But par 3 claims another victim. That will leave Kim Min-sun 7 in sole position of second. That par, some separation created with Isomi. Our first bogey of the round, and it'll be all the more frustrating that it came from a misread putt. The third is where she had started the day. EA1 4 back, still just 1 under for the day.
저 핸드폰 소리 안 나게 부탁드리겠습니다. 베이스 소리야. 오케이. 네, 알겠습니다.
So she nets an extra spot from her group mates and stays with the first tee shot rights.
먼저 칠게요.
벙커 우측 그 좌측 안쪽 있으면 있을. 근데 오른쪽 나무는 안 걸려. 앞이가.
3:38 local time, starting to cool off slightly as the afternoon progresses. 14 degrees, 1.4 meters per second. The wind very negligible today. Time in the rough is short-lived for Kim Min-byul. Sumi also finds the fairway, perfect 3 for 3 out of our featured group. So the bogey at 12 takes Isomi to third, and it drops Kim Min-byul off of the front page of the leaderboard. An Ji-hyun, with just one hole to play, is posting or on pace for a very good round of 68. There's Matt Tassom. She is in and confirmed at a 67. Kim Soo-ji, some struggles today. +2 for the round through 13 in 14th position. Lee Ji-hyun 2. 70, a respectable round on this Saturday. return to see Imi Jung remaining in stride. This is 3 holes in a row where she's had an approach to 5 meters or less.
너무 클로즈.
She's no stranger to the spotlight, so the camera following her close. Wins in her career, including the KB Financial Group Star Championship, the Major. She was a rookie in 2019, win in 2021, 1 win in 2022, wants to keep that streak going. Isomiv generally seems to play her best golf at this time of year.
그냥 그 러프에서 쳤을 때 약간 공부터 친다는 그런 느낌만 갖다 쳐주시면 훨씬 좋아. 뭐 75 친다는 느낌? 그런 언저리로.
A bit of a lull. It's one of the things about being a rookie and being under pressure, that you get to this point, which in her case is second in the points list, and the expectations suddenly skyrocket. Tee shot for Kim Min Sun 7 on the par 3. And Chegabin. Wind fighting her slightly, and now she's got the downslope. The aggravation is going to stick around for at least one more hole for Kim Min Byul. Looking down towards the green, and that arrival is up on the hill in the rough from EA1.
야.
And Kim Min Byul somehow uses up some luck that she didn't even think she would have. That avoids dropping a 4th bogey since hole number 8, but you can tell by the body language that that's more relief than anything. And had she not been perfectly at the pin, it would have a much different feeling. It's worked nice and close. We, in the meantime, Isumi, who shakes her head and has to go mark that ball off if she's not on the line that she needed to be. Jung, she came close at the last back-to-back, but how about 2 in the last 4 holes? Starting to, even if she gets back to where she started the day, it'll be a multi-stroke lead heading into tomorrow's championship round. On 16, EA1 needs to float that up. Really nicely controlled. About a 6-footer for a par. Recovers for her par. At least that's the plan. Audio from another hole fooling us. And this is hole number 14. So the 5th of the back 9. No noticeable hazards to be particularly mindful of. 230 meters from the tee is the bunker that eats into the fairway. From there, 2 last bunkers just before the green. It is uphill from the in-play point to the green, and the green is 2-tiered, as we'll see with the animation. As we would have seen with an animation. How about that? All the way to the back today, 9 yards from the back edge and 7 from the fringe to the left is the pin.
앞에. 네, 감사합니다. 자, 플레이하겠습니다. 소리 안 나게 말씀드리겠습니다.
She's returned to the flow state, which she had spent a lot of time in. Next drive also finds the fairway.
뒤는 안 봐도 돼요. 그냥 흙바람만. 카메라 좀 부탁드릴게요.
And 3 for 3. The line looks good if it'll stay. Rides it just long enough. And Kim Min-sun goes to 9 under par. Still bogey free, just 2 holes to go. Doing her best to keep pace with Imi Jung. Oftentimes the reaction from gallery and golfer combined says all that needs to be said. Just about up to pin high. Miss to the common position off to the right. And now EA1 to save a par. Nice recovery on this hole. Jihyun, after being disappointed the last couple of holes, to not be picking up any birdies. This to save a par. Oh, she's misread it again. So unfortunately that'll see her fall from tie for 4th to tie for 8th. First bogey of the day coming at hole 54 of her tournament. And the rare 4-iron. Imi Jung preferring this club to the hybrid. And she is not going to quite be able to make it work all the way to the green, but likely be playing the pitching wedge next. This has no problem finding the green. This has no problem going right at the pin. When it comes to birdies, they don't get easier than that. Isomi will be able to recover from that drop stroke at the last. You spin around 10 times, blindfold herself, and still make that putt. Let's see if she can replicate Isomi's fantastic approach. Not quite as close, but it's a good one that she'll be quite happy with nevertheless. .248. It's the final par 5 for her in round number 3. Sounds good and looks good on top of it. Maybe a nearby sprinkler head. She might get a bit of free relief from that. Somebody tips the cap. Back to 2 under for the round. Thought maybe she would consider the wedge with how nicely she's played them this week, but from a fair distance out, she's going to elect to putt. Likely one from the fringe and one to finish. Here comes that swooping motion, returning it left. Really nicely played. Jagabin teeing off on 16 with a 5-iron.
바로. 근데 여기서부터 확실하게 먹어. 근데 훅은 아니야, 스타트. 그래서 나는 벙커, 맥스가 한 컵까지 봤는데 한 컵은 좀 많은 거지. 치겠습니다.
Kim Biel, she has not had much luck with putter. Obviously, we saw that she had to be a bit lucky with her last birdie from her last par, excuse me, from the sand trap, but she thought she was there. She literally goes 180 degrees, wanted to drop, but just stayed above it. Watch again. This is excruciating. Started to, and paused. So it is par confirmed. The impact of the wind on that approach, pushing Kim Min-sun 7 all the way towards the fringe. It's 66 meters for EA1's approach on 17. She just clears the front of the green, and that's going to be short-lived as she rolls back to the fringe. It's been pretty close to a day to forget for her.
잠시만 멈춰주세요. 샷.
First drive into the target zone. And this is great at the pin. Sangsangin, welcome back. Haven't seen a shot like that from her for most of the day. That drive, yeah, is going to need a zoom in to see just where it's gone. Certainly the creek is not ruled out. Let's try and track it. She definitely disappears over the rocks. Certainly doing her best to keep it interesting. Biel rolls maybe to the border. Really timed zoom out for us to be able to know for sure, but either way, good drive. No provisional for Amy Jung, so she'll either be taking a drop or hoping for a lucky bounce or two. She can afford to give up one, though she certainly would love nothing more than to get back to even. She is +1 for the day, as is Kim Min Biel. They're separated by 5 strokes, though both inside of the top 5. We're back to Lakewood in Yeongju after a short break. Well, our update for Amy Jung is not a positive one. She looks convinced to try everything before admitting defeat here. How in the world? I don't know that she was necessarily looking forward to a mid-round swim on a 13-degree day. It's a great caddy though, willing to soak his socks to try and help plan. Just so we're on the same page, if you or I tried this, we would end up doing a belly flop into the creek. She's gonna go for it. She's already getting bravery points. And the Monday yoga pays off. She's got it up. She has not ended up in the creek. And of course she can laugh about it now. The lengths players will go to avoid a drop in a penalty. You can understand why. These are pros. You don't plan for that. You don't practice that per se. But hey, nicely done. Kim Min-sun 7 finishes off, and we'll head to the 18th next. We will head back to the fairway. Isomi's second shot. She heads off towards the cart path and gets stuck on the hill. Not sure how she managed to put the ball there. But this hole seemingly just full of surprises. And also headed 18 after a good finish there. Well, her groupmates are having some adventures. Kim Min-byul is just waiting patiently for her turn. There's our answer, just outside of the target zone.
Shot.
For Kim Min-byul, she is 2 for 2 on the par 5 thus far.
근데 우리 저 밑에서는 앞서. 아니 아니. 그냥 옆바람.
Waiting to get this close, Imi Jung, 68 meters. Little backspin, and because of her trip to the creek side, has to convert on that to avoid a bogey. On 18. Front shot from Kimi 7 goes all the way to the back. And Isumi skips that down. Gets a really nice roll to help her out. Next up, Sangsangin, it's about pin high. Inbyo closest to. She's due. Next on 18 is ZA1. See if she can end the day with a really nice birdie. We'll certainly qualify for that with some work still to be done. Now Chegabin. By the wind and assisted here by the downslope. This is going to be exceptional. Really good opportunity to go low. Slightly off the line for Isumi. Swooping right to left. Here it comes. Call that 4 feet if it wants to stop. Yep. Definitely a sour note, as that's bogey for Imi Jung. Paying for the tee shot. So good. Also can't connect on the first putt, so she has to tap in. Kim Min-bill, that's probably a big exhale. She gets back to even today, her first birdie since hole number 4. Yuan watches that start to move too early. So Miel smiles with just 2 holes to play. Kim Min-sun 7 for a par. No. Drops 1 at the very end. Her only bogey of the day coming on a putt that just needed a little bit more power behind it. So she goes level with Lee So-mi. Imi Jung goes to 9 under. On 17, she hands Seoul to get to 6 under. I swear every time we see her, she's doing something unbelievably cool. Her putt earlier for a big pickup.
실패. 여기서 포트하는 것도 괜찮고.
당연하지.
그냥 다 쓸 수 있는 그림은 큰데. 우측대.
저 언덕까지는 170. 핀 앞에 언덕.
70. 그때 우리 백핑이 왼쪽 백핑에서 우측이죠?
오버. 근데 그거 약간 뒷바람이.
뒷바람. 지금 77.
그게 168 나왔어.
77. 이게 언덕은 밑에 맞고 올라갈 언덕이죠. 지금도 있으면 뒷바람이잖아요.
지금 내가 봤을 때 7번 아이언 그때 있어. 올라가는 게.
뒷바람이 있어.
아니, 저 슬라이스. 슬라이스. 밑단이 있어도 되니까.
카메라 타워 슬라이스 있으니까.
그래도 카메라 타고 우측 느낌이 낫지 않을까? 치겠습니다. 멈춰주세요.
With all that time to prepare, Kim Min-byul, after her birdie, goes directly into the rough.
중하고
원래 바람이 아빠랑 그 슬라이스?
그냥 슬라이스만 해.
이거 뭐야?
반사판.
She is certainly poised to have another brilliant finish in this season that has seen her in the top 10 10 times, twice a runner-up, 3 times P3. Her first T2 was back in August, the High-One Resort Ladies Open, and last week, second at the Stableford competition. Jung is not going to be able to keep that on the green. In fact, she's in the thick rough. That's going to be anything but straightforward. She only has 4 top 10 finishes this season. Only played 22 events. She took the month of July to just step away, focus on rehab, focus on recovering. She had said she was wondering if she was ever going to get her skills back after the car accident last season and all of the grueling recovery that entails. We've been reminded this week that the answer is yeah, she's going to get those skills back. And so fun to watch through nearly 3 whole rounds of play. green after a few really good shots as setups for that birdie opportunity. Unable to convert on that moment. Back to 16 in a moment. We have Kim Soo-ji in the interim playing her approach on 17. That's more like it. Hear the gallery chanting, rooting for the ball to go. This is what they were hoping to avoid. Ji Sol after another nice birdie. Teeing off on 18. She's tied for fifth, only 4 back. She knows a thing or two about getting it done on Sunday. Amy Jung's set up for par effort.
앞에 다 멈춰주세요.
And Isomi for 9 under. A little bit short. Unable to stay on the green. Disappointing one on 18. Back with our featured group. to just a couple of feet past the hole. This is pretty representative of how the day at large has gone. She avoids a penalty, but she has just not been on it today.
플레이 중입니다.
Jung with that par will carry on to the final two holes. Goes without saying, but obviously a much better run of form here on the back nine. Isomi secures that par as well. It is bogey right after the birdie, and can feel the frustration through the screen. Wasting no time, here goes Isomi, and she's gonna skip and roll and stop in the bunker. Away goes the featured group. Everybody on the march on 17. Their longest of the remaining holes as we near 5 p.m. local time. This is the second time in the last 40 minutes or so we have seen someone going for a dip. This time it's much deeper. Sangsangin is up to her knees in the water. Nicely done. She'll do her best to dry off, but at least on the bright side, there's only a couple of holes still to play before she can warm up a touch. Though with her wins this season, she's no stranger to getting doused, usually on the 18th instead of the 17th. It certainly just doesn't seem to be in the realm of possibility this week, as she's outside of the top 30 and 11 off the lead.
한 번에도 쳐서 5파를 남기는 게 나을까? 아니면 6치를 쳐서 5, 2, 4파를 남기는 게 나을까?
5, 2, 4파 남는 거.
Shot from Mimi Jung is a good one. And a long way back. We'll roll through the fringe and stop just before the rough.
가요. 앞으로 가요. 천천히요.
And back we go to Chihan Sol, who has another. Drama to the very end, and 5 birdies on the day, 4 of them since hole number 14. Her 3-round score of 7 under is the 4th best of the 64 who made the cut. Isomi plays her second, advancing down into the fairway. She'd love to only have 5 shots left in her day. Round is complete. 2 more putts for Che Gabin. It's another bogey. Really promising opening 4 holes. She picked up 2 birdies. Did not find another the rest of the way, and that's a disappointing end, admittedly. Now, whom you mean? From literally the water. That back 9 is certainly a lot. Just not clicking for the rookie today. She's certainly entitled to have her off days more often than not. She is on to big things. Isomi's approach on 17. Couple of birdies can see her to double digits. She's going to have to work for that first one. Kimin Biel to follow, can't keep it on the green. In fact, that's going all the way to the rough. Just the bookend of the day for Yumin. It is round of 80. Bogeys, 2 doubles, and just the 1 birdie on 13. As they're in a tie for 35th. And the player in the lead is Amy Jung, who's going to get a little bit of a roll back. Not as much as I'm sure she would have liked. Kim Min-gyo misses on the look for a birdie. Playing the short up and rolling to about 5 feet away on 18. Another good one from Kim Soo-ji. Izumi up and in. Okay, so Kim Min-sun 7 finished off the round at 8 under. Izumi picks up her 4th birdie of the day, and that will keep the pressure on Lee Mi-jung right to the very end. Tremendous putt. In a world where 2 putts isn't enough for Lee Mi-jung here, we'd be in a dead heat heading to the 18th hole. Starting at the slow run down. 4 feet for par. She'll preserve the advantage, barring some kind of wild miss. Young, it ends up being just the 1 bogey on the day, 77, under par through 54. And par for Kim Min-gyo. Many Hung Yoo-min, Park Hyung-young, Kim Soo-ji, who just did not have the day they had envisioned. taken her back inside of the top 10, but as it was not there, this will be putt 70 or shot 74 of the day. Down 10 spots from where she had been. Bogeys at 18, 13, and a double at 5. The one birdie came on hole number 9.
우측에서 치는 왼발이고 중계타 센터로 이동 잠시만 멈춰주세요.
Less than 45 minutes from sunset. Future group reaches the final tee. So Mia for birdie has the honor.
그러니까 실질적으로 거기 가도 살기지.
It has been anything but the day that she would have wanted, Amy Jung, but rewarded especially for the Thursday round. But if she cannot birdie and Isumi goes on to do so, she will have conceded her 5-stroke advantage that she built by the end of round 2. Off on the drives. Approaches and putts. That's it in this moving day round. Well, this is, of course, golden hour at the beautiful Lakewood Country Club. When it opened back in 1972, it was known as the Royal Country Club. Modeled off some of the best American courses and designed by David M. Dale, one of the greatest designers in the history of this sport. The idea of that American style is that a lot of it's on flat ground. You use the fairways, you use hazards to make it more or less difficult, so you can see the pin. Just about every hole. There are, of course, a couple of exceptions. 14 springs to mind. Izumi furthest out just off the fairway into the rough on the right. Biel stands by. Full swing with the wedge and just clears the rough, separating the pond from the green, so she's not going to have to get her feet wet quite like Hung Yumin, but it was close to that. Backspin keeps that ball almost exactly where it landed on the green. Give Mimi Jung a chance at a birdie. .75 meters, 58-degree wedge. This is Kim Min-biel. She's also short. Only one of the three on the green. Absolutely stunning this time of day. The clubhouse and the autumn leaves. A really still day.
많이는 안 흘러. 맥스가 한 컵? 다시 한번 볼게. 여기서 한 컵이면 충분히.
Kim Min-byul goes first. Short pitch up. Needs to keep it close and does precisely that.
아니 오이 안 먹어.
So me, the little chip, just about. She'll settle for a par on what was a really nice day at work for her. It's been a while since we've seen the fox on the hunt. There are 54 holes. She has been the best. She will stay as the best. If this putt goes in the next two shots, or this ball goes down the next two putts, she won't be able to get back to even. 73 would be no small feat on a difficult course like we saw today. For her birdie, not quite. It will be 74. And while she'll be disappointed that the lead is more narrow, I think she would prefer to have gotten that adversity out the way and show herself, remind herself that she's got the skill and the consistency to roll with the punches a little bit. From hole number 7, only one bogey, 2 birdies on the way in. And that leaves just Kim Min-byul. Start of the day second. Spent a lot of time trying to battle back from bogeys, which she's seen 4 today. This will be her 4th. It's disappointing. She's actually the 2nd top rookie in the field with how well Kim Min-sun played, especially today. The gap between those two is 3 strokes. A bogey at the last. 5 of them all together with 3 birdies, and that sees everyone's round come to a conclusion. So the leaderboard and therefore the groups are set. We'll go through that in a few moments, but first, the third round highlights that will begin on hole number 6. Good shot, said the crowd. Unfortunately, they were not correct on that assessment. And then getting out of the bunker, well, proved to be very difficult. So her first attempt at it saw her go backwards. When she finally got up onto the green, ball broke away on her. And she would finish that par 3 with 5 strokes. And that was after a bogey at 5. It's definitely a difficult front 9 for the leader. Kim In-sun 7. Nice and consistent. Quiet at times, but consistent. Birdie to start the back 9. And then on 11, another par 4, she was able to go back to back. Take her up to 8 under par, which is where she would eventually finish the day, not before a couple of other moves up and down. Meanwhile, she was going about her business. Imi Jung at 10. From just on, from the fringe. It was a big sign. That was an announcement that it was going to be a much different back 9. This from Kim In-biol was her shot of the day. The expression on her face after holding up from the sand tells you that she shouldn't have been in that situation. But as you look across that scorecard, too many squares, not enough circles. Isomi will be the next shot we take in on 14. Cleanly struck and a great roll to about 5 centimeters from an eagle. She would tap that in as one of her 2 birdies on the back 9. We'll go to 16 next. Kim In-sun 7, 6.1 meters above the hole. Left to right break, but just straightens out in time. Go temporarily to the 9th, staying without an error on the day. Imi Jung would find herself in a little bit of trouble on 15. So that drive would end up quite literally in the creek. She had one of the most unconventional recovery shots. By the time she made it to the green, needed that to avoid dropping. But it would be a bogey. It would take her to 10 under. She would par out from there, 16, 17, and 18. On 17, with Jihan Sol, she had quite the little run-in to finish the round. Just the one birdie on the front 9, back-to-back bogeys 5 and 6, birdied 10, bogeyed 11, but from 14 she was near perfect. Isomi with a truly perfect putt on 17 as well. That would take her to 9 under. And then on 18, as mentioned, more from Jihan Sol for birdie. Just enough. See her ascend to 4th, a position that she occupies all by herself. Imi Jung, that putt would have given her a 2-stroke advantage, slightly off the mark, so she would tap in. And it would be a 1-stroke, and is a 1-stroke advantage after 54 holes of play. Isomi, of course, 1 back. Kim In-sun 7, 2 back. Jihan Sol 3 back. Tied for 5th, Im Jini, Sungyeon, and EA1 with rounds of 2 under, 1 under, and 1 under respectively. Mata Son with a brilliant day, 5 under, a 67, takes her tied for 8th with the likes of Soyeon Jung, An Ji-hyun, Che Ga-bin, Kim In-biol as well, all at those scores, though Kim In-biol 74 in the round. An Sung-hee with a 66 today, 7 birdies in the round. She's tied for 13th position, which she shares with Jung Jimin 2. Then tied for 15th, we have Lee Ji-hyun 2, Jung Yoon-ji, and Kim Soo-ji. Well, that's it for us today. 3 hours and change, just about 3.5 at the gorgeous Lakewood Country Club. 54 holes down, the first 54 holes in the history of this tournament. Brand new this season, and tomorrow we will crown that first champion. Will it be Imi Jung? Will it be the fantastic comeback story that we all love, regardless of the sports. But certainly in this one, she's going to start the day with just a one-stroke advantage. Speaking of 1 hour earlier is when we will begin our round. That is 1 p.m. local time here in Yangzhou. For all of us at SBS Golf, I've been Adam Jenkins. Thanks for joining us once again on the LPGA Tour of Korea, and we will see you tomorrow for the final round of the Sangsangin Hangyang TV Open at Lakewood.